On behalf of the Saskatchewan Retro GameCon, we are proud to present the 8-Bit Minute, where we interview a vendor, a sponsor, or a special guest in a fast, pixel-packed spotlight. Time to power up and press start. Hey everyone, this is Jared from the Saskatchewan Retro GameCon, and welcome back to the 8-Bit Minute. Today I'm so excited to be talking to some of our cosplay judges for this year's convention, and I would love to introduce them to you. So Kiri, let's start with you.
Hey everyone, I'm Kiri Cosplay, and thank you so much for having me here today.
And Cosplaimee.
Hi everybody, I'm Cosplaimee.
And Sewrenity.
Hi everyone, I'm Sewrenity Cosplay.
Excellent. Well, thanks again for joining me today. It's so exciting to have you and to have such a wide variety of backgrounds to bring to our judging panel. Kiri, let's just start with you. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself or what brought you into this cosplay crazy world?
Well, actually, I always have to start saying that I'm actually an immigrant. I'm originally from Chile, and I started cosplaying there around 2012. We started doing cosplay with my sister because it was cheaper to pay for the cosplay ticket to get to the events. But later we realized that it's very expensive to make cosplay. I was already deep to here when that realization hit me. So after that, I went to study fashion design. And when I came to Canada, my passion for creativity and for cosplaying was fueled back. In Saskatchewan, I had the space, literally the space and the creativity to be able to go back to cosplay.
That's excellent. And I know I'm not a cosplayer myself, but I collect retro video games, and I know that things get expensive in your passions, and it's best just to not look at the price tag. Just keep going. And if you have buyer's remorse, you just buy more stuff.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
And so Cosplaimee, I'd love to hear from you as well. What kind of brought you into this cosplay world, or what's some of your background in this?
Sure. Well, we're actually twinning because I also started in 2012. And it started as like a bucket list item. My friends had gone to cons and I'm like, I want to cosplay at least once. Sure. And we've seen how that spiraled out of control. My first cosplay, I'm actually from the Pacific Northwest. I'm from Oregon. So I'm also new to Canada in the last few years. And my first cosplays were Raven from Teen Titans and Ty Lee from Avatar. And I just fell in love with it. It's like Disneyland, but two ways. And then the community, like my favorite thing about cosplay is just talking shop. And through conventions throughout the Pacific Northwest in Portland and Seattle primarily, I made a bunch of connections and eventually formed this skit cosplay group called the Sakura Rangers, where we've had a short podcast. We primarily will host cosplay contests and panels. So we've hosted at KomoriCon and SakuraCon for thousands of people, as well as I compete with them. We've won awards, Best in Show, Best Masters. My passion is for combining, I'm a theater kid. And I did dance team too. So my passion is for combining performance with cosplay, especially song parody. I love a good song parody cosplay song.
Excellent, thank you. And Sewrenity, I'd love to hear from you. What's your background?
So I guess technically I started cosplaying officially started cosplaying back in 2010 when I met my then boyfriend, now husband. He was really big into Magic the Gathering, like obsessive. And I had never gone to a Comic-Con before, and he was competing, I guess, in a 5K. And he says, hey, like, I think you like dressing up, right? Like, do you want to come? And I was like, yeah, sure. I'm sure I could pull a costume together and stuff like that. And it was just the energy of all the people wanting to take photos of me and like meet me and talk to me about my character. And I was like, oh, this is 100% where I belong. But going back previous to that, my home city of Winnipeg, we used to do what's called like Boo at the Zoo. So every October for 13 days, our zoo would put on kind of like a Halloween walkthrough. So I was really an introvert. I wasn't a big public speaker. The thought of even like talking like this to anybody really stressed me out. But what I loved about Boo at the Zoo was I could put on a costume and I felt like I could truly be myself and I could really show my true colors without showing my true face because it was like I was putting on that mask.
That's excellent. So I need to know who's more well behaved, the zoo animals or other convention goers?
Oh, definitely the zoo animal.
So it's so cool to hear that all of your wide backgrounds and also that none of you are from Saskatchewan. So I would love to hear a little more if the different cultures play into what you cosplay, or how does that impact what you do moving forward?
I would say the biggest difference in Saskatchewan is the community is so into not just wearing cosplays together, but working on them together. Never before have I been to so many organized like cosplay work days or work parties. And really cosplay traditionally is like a very solitary hobby, like gaming can be, is you're just sitting alone and you're kind of grinding on your costume. But just like multiplayer games, doing it together enriches the experience. It gives you other perspectives, and it can even help you get past when you're stuck at a certain part and you're indecisive. Getting that feedback can really help. So I've loved that about this community so far.
That's excellent, and I would love to hear too about something that you're maybe most proud of, whether it's working with others or maybe it's a specific cosplay that you've worked on.
I'm pretty proficient mostly in sewing. I've been sewing since I was 11 years old. I actually started a business and that's what my career is. The cosplay that I'm most proud of is a couple of years back, I did a Mother Miranda from Resident Evil Village. And that went so far beyond just sewing. I learned foam work to make wings, completely made a foam headpiece, learned how to kind of rig everything together so that it could be completely wearable and movable and not weigh me down. I actually started to make the feathers out of fabric, which I abandoned pretty quickly because it was really hard to do and very heavy after, because I believe she has like 8 or 10 wings. So it was piling up pretty good. So it really widened my horizons to work with different skills with vinyl and leather and a lot of feather work and foam work. And I would say that's probably the cosplay that I'm most proud of because it scared me to do work with other aspects of cosplay rather than just sewing. But I got to meet the voice actress of Lady D, and having her like bow down to me and just praise my cosplay was just so amazing.
That's really cool. Well, for me, I would like say like competition wise, I was the runner up for the World Cosplay Summit Chile, so that was like amazing. We were points there with the number one that went to Japan, so that's actually really cool. And cosplay wise, I think it would be the last cosplays we made together with my wife Bree from Critical Role. I work with fabrics that are very difficult to work. She went and learned a bunch of skills. That was her first time on stage, and I think we rocked that stage. Like, I'm so proud of that presentation. It was a very stressful day, but at the end of the day, I take a clean feedback, and I'm like so proud of what we put up there. But also, I'm like, I have so much to improve, and with like a good attitude, like I want to do better. So I think that would be the two most proudest moments that I have.
That's excellent, and I did want to also touch on something that some of you mentioned was how cosplay really helped you come out of your shell or help you face some fears, right? Whether it's public speaking or anxiety or whatever it is. And I know for myself, so I'm a drummer, but the drums is kind of this protective barrier, right? It's like kind of like that mask between you and the audience. Is there any crossover that you've seen from your skills you've learned through cosplay into your regular life? Maybe it's through your job or through your interactions with people. Have you seen any changes since you started to cosplay?
I have a weird one. Because of learning how to sew and like dexterity, I work in dental, so I used to do dental assisting. So like the sewing made me really good at flossing, and using a Dremel made me really good at adjusting dentures. That's probably not the direction you were going with that question.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm really good at making temporary crowns out of plastic because I've used a Dremel a lot.
That's awesome. Well, I think they need to add cosplay to the dental school now. So I think you need to pitch that.
I would say like as a competitive cosplay, it has built the way I see failure on a different way.
Mm.
And that affects your whole life because you can fail on simple things in life, like, oh, this project I worked didn't work out or anything else. But it does help me a lot with that. It has helped me a lot through all these years. And also I suffer a lot from anxiety. So sewing, crocheting, all of these crafts made with your hands are really good at grounding. And those are like my techniques to regulate my mental health as well.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your backgrounds in this cosplay, and just a huge thank you to all of you for guiding me along with this. We really want to make the cosplay such a big thing with our convention, and with someone who doesn't have experience, it's just been incredible working with you all, and just excited to see you in September. But because we are a Retro Game Con, we'd love to hear some of your gaming history. So Cosplaimee, I'll start with you this time, but what is your gaming history, or do you have any favorite moments with games growing up as a kid?
So, as you know, I am a big Sonic girly. And growing up, my brother and I, we were oil and water, cats and dogs. Like, we were always fighting. But Sonic 2 on the Sega Genesis, I was Sonic and he would play as Tails. That was when we got along. And then when Sonic Adventure came on the Dreamcast, you remember back in stores, they used to have like the demo cabinet and you could play it. That was just so cool. I'd never seen something with so much attitude. Like, I loved it. And then somebody with like me, my personality, I like to go fast. I have a short attention span. And then I think this culminated in, I actually got to the semifinals at PAX West's Sonic Adventure 2 Battle Tournament. So like, I love Sonic. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is my favorite. We don't talk about Sonic 06 or any of those games, but I love retro gaming. We've been setting up a Botacera like emulation thing, my husband and I, with a projector and like a little mini computer so we can retro game more. So I've been checking out Majora's Mask. I just started Final Fantasy X, broadening to things that are not Sonic. So... But I would say my systems are a Genesis, Dreamcast, and the GameCube. I will crush Pikmin 1. I love that game so much.
That's amazing. Sewrenity, how about yourself? Do you have any gaming history, or what's your background in games?
So I got a late start to gaming. I wasn't allowed video games in my house when I was a kid. So I believe, gosh, how old was I? Maybe 14 when I got my first job, and the first thing I went out and bought was a PlayStation 1 and Spyro the Dragon, and I swear I locked myself in my room. I played it all weekend. I'm more of a backseat gamer. My husband is the big gamer, so I help him with puzzles or if he gets stuck on stuff, and I'm always like chastising him about stuff. He's like, will you play it? No, I'd rather just watch you. But I will go off of Amy and like GameCube though, Super Mario Sunshine, Pikmin, oh my gosh, like absolutely my jam. Currently, my favorite game is Resident Evil series, of course. Resident Evil Village, anything spooky, anything scary. All of the older Resident Evil games, kind of going back and like learning to play them and learning to get over the fears of like being spooked by a video game and stuff like that.
I still haven't got over that, so good for you. So yes, thank you for that. If you have any like your top 2 or 3 games from across your lifespan, what would them be? So we've heard some Sonic, heard some Pikmin. Let's start with you, Kiri. I know that maybe, I don't know what your gaming history is, but do you have 1 or 2 games that you always go back to?
Puzzle Bubbles is my number one game, and I know it's just a puzzle. But while you were guys talking, I just realized why is my number one. It's not in English. It doesn't matter what language you speak. You can just understand the game. And my brother, I have a 15-year-old. Yeah, my brother is like 40 something now. He used to have all the games, but they were all in English. So I couldn't understand a thing. And Puzzle Bubbles is just connect the bubbles and they explode and they're cute. So that's my number one. But then I would go to Super Mario World 2 for the DS that I have to this day. And the next one is not a retro though. I'm sorry.
That's
but
okay.
I do enjoy Zelda Breath of the Wild. I just love to go back there, grab ingredients and cook. That's what I do there.
It'll be retro before you know it. That's an amazing game, so that's okay. We'll let that one pass. Cosplay how about yourself? So I mean, I think there's going to be some Sonic in there, but what's your top two or three games from across your life?
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle and Pikmin, I just love and adore. It's not a retro game, but I love Baldur's Gate. It is just so fun, and I put so many hours into it.
Nice.
I've not been so into a game. I just love it.
That's amazing. And Sewrenity, how about yourself?
I'd say my top two. One would be Duck Hunt, the original Duck Hunt. I loved playing that game. I ended up getting a killer deal a little while back, and I just love revisiting games like that. So simple, so easy to follow, things like that. And then, of course, the original Spyro the Dragon for PS1.
Nice. So thank you again so much for doing this interview with me today. If there's anyone listening that's thinking of cosplay for the first time, or they're nervous, they don't know where to start, what are some first tips or tricks that you would give someone like that?
Just do it. But more practical, I would say start with a costume that uses thrifted items as a base, because it's really daunting to try to get the fit correct on something. And I would say as well, go for a simple design first. I've seen people get these really ambitious ideas. I had a friend who wanted to, for his first cosplay, do one of the Gartham from the Dark Crystal, the big beetle guys. I'm like, that is not a first costume. Pick something easy, something simple, so you can execute it well and feel good and be comfortable, and wear good shoes.
Yes. Yeah, the shoes is a big one.
Kiri, let's go with you next.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab what Cosplaimee said, and yes, go if you think this, go smaller. I would say elevated Halloween. Like if for Halloween you're putting like 5 minutes, try to put a week into this. Like go and find the items. If you wanna make something with your hands and you have access to a sewing machine or to threads and whatever, there are plenty of tutorials, and I can guarantee you, just Google the character, and you will find references. References is your number one friend. And don't be so hard on yourself. You will improve, and you'll be proud of all the big job you're done.
Excellent. And Sewrenity?
I find for me, going with a character that I feel passionate and really enjoy. Personal story, the first cosplay that I did in 2010 when I went to, I guess it would have been Central Canadian Comic-Con in Winnipeg. I cosplayed Sweet Pea from Sucker Punch. I have never seen Sucker Punch. I still to this day. And I got interviewed by like 3 different YouTubers that day asking me about my character. And I was like, I have no idea. So usually when I do my panels and people ask what my biggest tip for starting cosplay is, find a character that you know something about, someone that you enjoy, someone you feel like you can embody, because you get excited about being that character. But then also when people come up to you and are super excited and want to talk to you about your character, then you guys can mesh, maybe make a new friend or two. And it just kind of helps with that aspect of coming out of your shell, because you're confident in the character that you're cosplaying, and people can really feed off of that energy and see how excited you are.
That's amazing. Well, thank you all so much. And then for those listening, just as a reminder, at this year's convention, we have the Cosplay A qualifier. So the winner gets flights and hotels to Montreal in 2027 to compete in the finale. And then the next day, we have the Cosplay Parade. We'll have a few different categories, but we really encourage everyone to apply for the Cosplay A. And then also, when you're there and you're signing up for the Cosplay Parade, just come, just have fun. We have these wonderful judges that will help you through it. We have some volunteers, and it's just going to be an amazing time. So thank you three. Just for the final thing, where's the best place for people to follow you or to find you? And Cosplaimee, we'll start with you.
Mine's easy. I'm most active on Instagram. Cosplaimee is spelled crazy, Cosplaimee. That's why the username wasn't taken on Instagram.
Excellent. And Kiri?
Same. You can find me on Instagram, Kiri.cosplayca. Kiri is spelled KIRI.cosplayca.
Excellent. And I'll make sure to write it on the screen too for everybody. And Sewrenity, where's the best place for you?
Also the same for me on Instagram at Sewrenity Cosplay.
Excellent. Well, thanks again so much for your support through this whole process, and we can't wait to see the three of you in September. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.